Ciao everyone and welcome back to the analysis of the songs of Sanremo Music Festival 2026. Today we are going to talk about the song that ranked 10th. I am talking about I Romantici by Tommaso Paradiso. Premise, this analysis is going to be quite simple because the song in itself is quite simple and that's perfectly fine. So, let's start with the title. Very easy, The Romantics. So, romantico, romantic, in this case, is an adjective used as a noun, so it becomes like the romantics, as in the people who are romantic, the romantic people. And when asked what the song was about, Tommaso Paradiso said, "It's a simple dedication of love to the people I love, to the romantics. So it's just about a song about people in love or like generally being romantic." Okay, but it's not that simple. As in, there is a specific person, or better, two people this song is dedicated to. So, these two people are the daughter, who was born recently, I think, like this year or last year, but like it's a very recent event, and the wife, of course. So, what did Lorenzo Coveri say about this song? He evaluated 6.80, around that, so between 6, half, and 7, so not among the best lyrics, but not bad either. It is a good lyrics. So, he said, Tommaso Paradiso, long sought after for the festival, after leaving the group The Journalist, which he fronted in 2019, finally arrives at Sanremo with a ballad written with experts Davide Tropico Petrella and Davide di Whale Simonetta, dedicated to his newborn daughter Anna. And as I said, also the wife. Primarily, however, the inspiration was the daughter. The title, already featured in the lyrics of 3 other songs by Viola Valentino, Toto Cotugno, and Francesco Gabbani, not to mention Romantica, winner in 1960, is programmatic. Very straightforward as a title. It is a lyrics rich in moments of family life, with tender and slightly comical accents. The dialogue continues with delicate images, the language is contemporary and colloquial, perhaps a little affected. What did he mean with that? Okay, so the word Lorenzo Coveri used in Italian is lezioso. Lezioso is a person who expresses themselves, writes also in artistic manner, with in a way that is a bit forced. Okay, so like he's kind of trying to paint these romantic scenes. Romantic, not as in love-wise, but how can I say, like with affection, okay? But sometimes he tries, it feels like he tries a little bit too hard. So the effect is a little bit, okay, too much, okay? A little bit less. Tone it down a little bit. What am I meaning with that? Let's see with the lyrics. What better way than that? So, we start very classically with a verse. Mi sveglio sotto la pioggia che cade. Spero mia figlia sia uguale a sua madre. Bellissima. Che non so come fa a stare con uno che di notte accende la televisione, sempre lo stesso film, la stessa scena, col volume a cannone, non so come fa. I wake up under the falling rain. I hope my daughter is just like her mother, the most beautiful. That I don't know how she does it, being with someone who at night turns on the television Always the same movie, the same scene, with the volume blasting? No, I don't know how she does it. So, what is here the picture? Of course, we are talking about the child who is mentioned like almost right at the beginning. It is the start of the second line. But of course, in this very same line, there is also the wife. That's why I'm saying, yes, technically the song is dedicated to the child, to the daughter, but I would say that the wife is as important and as central as the daughter, which makes sense because without the wife, no daughter. So makes sense that they are kind of together, the protagonist of this ballad. Now, little, not, I don't know, anecdote, if we will. So, mi sveglio sotto la pioggia che cade is the first line of the song, but it is also the first line Tommaso Paradiso wrote. He explained in an interview, in fact, that generally the first lines he writes ends up being exactly the incipit of his songs, and the song was not different. So, grammatically and syntactically, we have certain peculiarity. Remember, this song is very colloquial and he's taking some freedom to express himself, which is not strictly compliant with the grammatical and syntactical rules in Italian. So, generally, to say I hope that, in Italian we say spero che. Here, the line would be spero che mia figlia sia uguale a sua madre, but the che, the that, is elided. Of course, here we're talking about needs for the rhythm, for the metrics, for the musicality of the lyrics, so it's normal in songs. That's why I'm always saying beware, because of course artists take artistic freedom, need artistic freedom, and rearranging the syntax and the grammar as it is requested by the song. Then another peculiarity is che non so come fa. Now, here we have actually two peculiarities. First, the che. This is called a multi-purpose che, or che plurivalente, because in this case che is not only the relative pronoun, because uguale a sua madre che subject of the sentence, I don't know how she does it. So her mother, who I don't know how she does it. But it is also così bella che non so come fa. So beautiful that I don't know how she does it, how she can stay with someone like me, okay? So in this case, we have the che used as a personal, a relative pronoun, and as a causal preposition. So, and the other peculiarity is the verb fare. Generally, when we say non so you are not sure about something, you should use the subjunctive, because the indicative, fa in this case is she does, so indicative, present indicative, is the mood of certainty. When we are expressing doubt, so for example here non so the opposite of certainty, we should use the subjunctive. So in this case would be sua madre che non so come faccia, così bella che non so come faccia. We should use faccia, so the subjunctive of the verb fare. Here probably the author is playing on the fact that even if he says I don't know how this is possible that someone so beautiful, so great stays with someone like me, he is because actually he knows. So it is this bit of contrast between what he says and what he implies by using this mood that actually tells us more, or probably is because of the metric needs, I don't know, but both interpretations work. And then last thing, col volume a cannone. This is a metaphor, but also an idiom, we could say, which is however very colloquial. La musica a cannone, il volume a cannone. And all these expressions related to sounds means that the volume is blasting. Cannone is the cannon, so like the one that shoots the cannonballs, okay? And of course, I don't know if you know, but generally a cannon shooting cannonballs is quite loud. So it's like saying with the volume, with the sound, with the music as loud as a cannon shooting a cannonball, so very, very loud. That's why I translated it as blasting. But it is very colloquial. That's why I'm saying careful. All this song is on this register. Very colloquial, which makes sense because he's trying to depict, to convey everyday life scenes and scenarios. Okay, he's trying to describe parts of his life with his daughter and his wife. Then we have a pre-chorus. E voglio dirti ti amo prima di decollare. Ti prego non girarti quando scendo le scale, che sarebbe stupendo non rovinare tutto, posso portarti più in alto, più in alto, più in alto come hai fatto tu. So, he says, and I want to tell you I love you before I take off. Please don't turn around when I walk down the stairs. That would be amazing, not ruining everything. I can take you higher, 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 like you did. Again, surely there is a great component, a big component, which is the love for the daughter, but this part could be as well dedicated to the wife. Okay, also, like from this point of view, I would actually think more about the wife than the daughter, but it can work for both of them. So he says, oh, I'm a little bit of a disaster. My wife is a great person, she's so beautiful, and I want my child to be like her. But from the other side, it is also like, I want to be the most romantic person for you. And in fact, we have the I love you before taking off. So every time, like I leave, I am going to say goodbye, I'm going to say I love you. And I'll do everything I can to bring you higher. So to make your life better, just like you did with me. And this whole part of the song can be dedicated as much as to the daughter as much as the wife. So it is a 50-50. Then we have the chorus. Spero che ti arriverà davvero una musica dolce per i tuoi giorni malinconici. Vorrei avere un pianoforte in tasca solo per ricordarmi di noi o il cuore appeso sulla giacca ogni volta che parlo di noi. I hope it will reach you, really, a sweet music for your melancholic days. I wish I had a piano in my pocket just to remind me of us. I have my heart hanging on the jacket every time I talk about us. Now, again, this part could be dedicated to the daughter as much as the wife. So, he is singing, he's writing the song for one of them, or most likely both of them. And then we have a couple of peculiarities. So, first of all, the peculiarities are all in this line. Ho il cuore appeso sulla giacca. I have my heart hanging on the jacket. Because normally, when in Italian we use the verb appendere, so to hang, for example, the clothes, I don't know, to the hanger, to the I don't remember when you enter and you hang your jacket to an object. I don't remember how the object is called in English. In Italian it's called attaccapanni, incredibly so. So, in Italian we say appendere a. So it would be ho il cuore appeso alla giacca, because generally we hang to, not on, okay? I don't know, probably is based on his dialect, because Tommaso Paradiso is from Rome, so it could be that in the dialect of Rome you say appeso sulla giacca. I don't know. Or probably because he is trying to replicate, reconstruct an idiom that we have in English. So it is to wear your heart on the sleeves, as in to be very honest. Now, there is a problem, because surely it's not really related to Italian, because in Italian we don't have the same idiom. You could have something similar, which is parlare col cuore in mano, so like to talk with your heart in your hands, like to show. The meaning is pretty much to wear your heart on the sleeve. In the parallel between this line and English works much better. For the Italian version, there is not much, however. So I'm not really understanding where he got this image. But like the closest thing that I can think of is the English idiom. Again, it could be that there is an idiom, a construction, something in the Roman dialect that I'm not aware of. Could be, so in case you find out, let me know in the comments. Anyway, and then we have the post-chorus. Remember the post-chorus because it's going to change throughout the song. However, the first and the last post-chorus are exactly the same. I romantici guardano il cielo, i romantici guardano un treno che se ne va. Romantics look at the sky, romantics look at a train that's leaving. So, I guess these are common romantic scenes. Do you think about these scenes when you think about the word romantic? I don't know, perhaps perchance. And then we have the next verse. Io quando bevo ci credo alle fate. Io non farò come ha fatto mio padre. Gelido non so come si fa. So, when I drink, I believe in fairies. I won't do like my father did. Cold, I don't know how to do it. So, I don't want to be a cold, gelid father to my daughter, to my children. I want to be a warm parental figure. I want to believe in fairies. I want to be a different man, not like my father. I want to be a present and empathetic parent, which is like, makes sense that this part is dedicated to the child. It is a little bit a promise that he is making to himself for the better of his child or children, because I don't know if he wants other children in the future. Anyway, so grammatically speaking, we have here a peculiarity, because generally you would say io quando bevo credo alle fate. So I, when I drink, believe in fairies. Here there is a repetition because ci credo, so I believe in it, in what? In fairies. So we have ci, which is a repetition, an anticipation of the fairies. Then we have the pre-chorus. Ti darò sempre un bacio prima di partire. Se fumo faccio la doccia prima di dormire. Che sarebbe stupendo non rovinare tutto. Posso portarti più in alto, più in alto, più in alto, come hai fatto tu. Now, the last part is the same. So, That would be amazing, not ruining everything. I can take you higher, higher, like you did. However, this first part, it's different. And in fact, he says, I will always give you a kiss before I leave, just like I love you before I take off. If I smoke, I shower before sleeping. So again, little things that you can do for your partner to make their life better, as in to be romantic, to keep the spark of love alive. You don't need crazy gestures. It is the little gestures in everyday lives that can make the difference. Saying I love you before taking off, giving a kiss before leaving, showering, like cleaning yourself from the smell of smoke to avoid annoying your partner, and so on and so on and so on. It is the little things. And then we have the chorus and the post-chorus. Now, the chorus is exactly the same. Spero che ti arriverà davvero una musica dolce per i tuoi giorni malinconici. Vorrei avere un pianoforte in tasca solo per ricordarmi di noi. Ho il cuore appeso sulla giacca ogni volta che parlo di noi. I hope it will reach you really as sweet music for your melancholic days. I wish I had a piano in my pocket just to remind me of us. I have my heart hanging on the jacket every time I talk about us. Now, remember, the post-chorus changes. It is the same only at the beginning and at the end. So here we have I romantici guardano il cielo, I romantici guardano un treno. Romantics look at the sky, romantics look at the train. Why is it different? Because the last line is missing. We don't have any more che se ne va, that is leaving, implied the train, because there is a bridge after. The bridge, in fact, says che corre via, so the train, il treno, che corre via, running away in the hope di rivedersi nel futuro, dove giocavano ragazzi con la palla contro il muro e adesso non c'è nessuno, non c'è più nessuno. Of seeing each other again in the future, where boys used to play with the ball against the wall, and now there is no one anymore. Here, more than romantic, I would say a bit nostalgic, because it is hinting to the way children and guys used to spend their time when they were younger. Of course, times change, and so do the game times. And then we have a variation of the post-chorus. Again, because we have post-chorus, variation because connects to the bridge, and then another variation of the post-chorus. Ma i romantici guardano il cielo e ci credono davvero. But romantics look at the sky and they really believe in it. And then we have the chorus, which is a variation, however, but a small one this time. Spero che ti arriverà una musica dolce per i tuoi giorni malinconici. Vorrei avere un pianoforte in tasca solo per ricordarmi di noi. Ho il cuore appeso sulla giacca ogni volta che parlo di noi. I hope it will reach you as sweet music for your melancholic days. I wish I had a piano in my pocket just to remind me of us. I have my heart hanging on the jacket every time I talk about us. So what does it change? It changes the fact that between spero che ti arriverà una musica dolce, there is no more davvero. So really, it's not a big change. And then of course we have one last post-chorus closing the song, which, as I said before, it is exactly the same as the first post-chorus. I romantici guardano il cielo, i romantici guardano un treno che se ne va. Romantics look at the sky, romantics look at the train that's leaving. Now, what tea do we have? Well, concerning Tommaso Paradiso, not much, because he is very simple. He loves his family, he makes a song about it. That's it. Clean. Now, what... I'll be honest. The first time I saw the ranking, I was like, how is it possible that he ranked so high? Because, let's be honest, sure, the classic song of Sanremo is a love song, and songs dedicated to children and wives go like 10 out of 10. Sal da Vinci won with a song dedicated entirely to his wife. We had also another song, which is ironically before this one, which we already analyzed, Qui con me by Serena Brancale, because here Tommaso Paradiso is dedicating a song to the child when she's just born, so from the point of view of the parent at the beginning of the relationship with the child, and then ranking exactly before we have Serena Brancale with the reverse point of view, so the child dedicating to the parent at the end of the relationship. So we have already these two. Then there are others, I think, who dedicated this song to wives and children. So I was like, I get it. I get it that many people like it, but Tommaso Paradiso is quite niche. Of course, he is a famous singer. Like, I'm not saying, oh, he's a no one. He was for the first time at Sanremo, but not because he's not famous, because he simply didn't want to come in the previous editions. So I was like, okay, I get it. He's a famous singer. He's still niche. He did a song like others, like to arrive in top 10. I'm confused. Like, it's okay. I was just not expecting it. Because, of course, I don't put this song in my top 10 because it's not because it's bad, but it's because it's simply not my genre. So I was like, but why was he so loved? Good for him. Not mad about it. And then I started to watch the interviews. So I found out that actually he was one of the favorite of the Specialized Press and the radio, 3 categories out of 2 voting in Sanremo Music Festival. So basically weighing more than 60% when they are put together. Why? I don't know. I think for the same reason of Sal da Vinci, because he doesn't create issues. His songs are just the classic love ballads, so he's not he doesn't stir the pot. He's just like, oh, I love my child, I love my wife, I have the traditional family, I don't talk about politics, I don't touch sensitive topics, I don't talk about things happening right now. Like, he's very much like, in my, not in an evil way, so like, but back in my days it was better. It's just like, oh, I miss when I was a child and I was playing with the ball against the wall. Oh, I love so much my family. So he's not like evil or discrediting other way of living or other type of song. In fact, like, he's very chill. However, the Specialized Press has a bit this thing that, oh my god, this guy talks about heterosexual, cisgender, family, perfect, mulino bianco version. Top. Because if you also look, for example, when Bruno Risas ranked among the, like, on the podium basically, last year, I understand it. Like, the lyrics of L'albero delle noci by Bruno Risas is like, okay, was one of the best of the entire festival. So it makes sense. But here, like, the song is cute. It is, of course, for a very specific target, the target of his audience, but the lyrics are average, not bad, not great either. So I was like, okay, weird, whatever. But like when they did the interviews, it was like, oh my god, you're so great. Oh my god, you should have been in top 5. Like, I'm not making this up. It's like you have to come to Sanremo more and more because, like, again, there are many people who ask to go to Sanremo and get discarded. Tommaso Paradiso just have to raise his hands and like they are going to bring it to Sanremo. Like, doesn't matter the song. Like, it is Tommaso Paradiso, we are going to take him. Sort of situations. It's like, okay. Probably because he has a little bit of the golden retriever personality. Anyway, since he has a bit of this golden retriever personality, there isn't much to say because he's a very simple person, as much as I saw in the interviews. The only thing that happened is that you might have noticed that he had, at least if you watch the clips from Sanremo Music Festival or Sanremo Music Festival directly, he had a bandaged hand. So what happened? He said, I tripped over one of my daughter's toys one night, leaned against a window pane, and literally split my hand in two. They had to put stitches inside and outside. Luckily, he didn't have to play any instruments, but still, like, we cannot have a Sanremo without someone being injured during or before the festival, apparently. Why am I saying this? Because he had a very peculiar way to cover the bandage. Because he wasn't just going on the stage and like, okay, he has his outfit, he has the bandage, that's it. No, he had specific bandages to cover, like the real bandage covering the stitches. And they were different. I don't think he changed them. He put one different each night because sometimes I think they were repeating, but they had all, I think, the same theme. And this theme was One Piece. Yes, Tommaso Paradiso is a great fan of One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, and in fact, when asked about his outfit, he said that One Piece is the greatest work ever conceived by a human being. His words, not mine. So we can notice that he's a great fan. And in fact, we had some One Piece fan during Sanremo Music Festival. Like, oh my god, is that Luffy? Because one of the gloves had Luffy, I think year 5. Another one had the symbol, the flying jack of the Straw Hat crew. I think that one had the scene when Nico Robin is crying for help at like after Water 7, I think. But I'm not sure because I couldn't find many pictures and some of them were like while he was singing, so the image on the hand was upside down. And I know One Piece just because one of my best friends is a great fan of One Piece, but I didn't read it myself, so I'm not as like I have second-hand information about One Piece. So, but if you're curious, I think you can find some picture of his outfits during the Sanremo Music Festival. But I am quite sure that all the bandages were One Piece themed. Anyway, as I said, there wasn't much tea because Tommaso Paradiso is quite chill and, well, the song was quite chill and simple as well. So let me know in the comments what you think about I Romantici by Tommaso Paradiso. That said, I hope you enjoyed. Grazie everyone for watching and arrivederci.